All the world's a stage, and all men and women and non-binary cuties merely players. Willie Shakes wrote that in his comedy As You Like It sometime around 1600. Really, he was musing on existence, mortality, and our fleeting time on this mortal coil. Although it's often misinterpreted by enthusiastic theater kids to mean essentially theater is life, and then printed on so many magnets, pins, t-shirts, and novelty tote bags, and even mugs. And while this interpretation isn't quite accurate to the bard's original meaning, it is true that life and theater have a whole lot in common. Hi, I'm Erica Brzozowski, this is Study Hall, and here are 7 reasons everyone should take a theater class. Whether in high school, college, or your local community center, the real benefit to spending a semester on stage isn't the lines you'll learn or the lighting looks you'll design. It's the life skills you'll take off stage and apply pretty much everywhere else. To start with the obvious, theater builds major public speaking skills. While some of us love to step out onto the stage ready to sing, sob, or soliloquize in front of a sold-out crowd, of course, for others, that might sound less like a dream come true and more like a nightmare. But unfortunately for the shy souls among us, public speaking is a huge part of life. Be it a big presentation at work or giving a toast at your best friend's wedding, a time will come where you're gonna have to stand up in front of a whole lot of people and talk. Theater can help with that. Most theater classes include some sort of performance aspect, whether it's a monologue, the presentation of a scene from a larger play, or a full production. You'll have a chance to practice your part solo before working your way up to an audience of your classmates, and depending on the class, invited friends and family, or even the wider public. On the way, you can work with your teacher and classmates to share their tips and tricks for combating nerves and developing your own strategies for when the time comes to step into the spotlight. And once you've lived through your first public performance, you'll be that much more prepared for future presentations. So when the time comes for that big meeting at work, you'll feel cool, calm, and collected. Or at least not sweating through your best blazer. Another important part of a theater class, and life itself, is working with others, which means you'll learn teamwork and how to build community. That's right. In many ways, our entire existence is one big group project, and you're gonna get some good collaboration practice in a theater class. No matter the project you're working on, you can expect to work with a whole clown car of people, occasionally including an actual clown. If you're in an acting role, you'll likely have to work with a scene partner or another actor in the scene with you. You'll also work with a director who helps shape the entire performance. This might be the class instructor, but is often another student. And depending on the class, you might also collaborate with playwrights and designers. You might even have the chance to work on a devised piece. This is where a group of performers work together to create the script and story, exploring, writing, and rehearsing until they have a show ready for an audience. When done correctly, devised theater is effective, cohesive, and feels as if it comes from one singular voice, the voice of your ultimate collaborative team. And because you spend so much time working towards that common goal with your classmates, you'll probably get to know them pretty well. It can be hard to make friends, but because you're going to be spending pretty much the entirety of a theater class working directly with others, you're way more likely to create lasting relationships that carry on long after final curtain call. There's a reason theater people are the most popular, or at least throw the best parties, or at least have a posse of 10 friends belting songs from Little Shop at all times. And not only are you going to collaborate big time, but you're going to do so under pressure. Even if you think you have everything planned out perfectly, there's always a last-minute costume crisis or performer illness to throw a wrench in things, and with only 5 minutes to curtain too. And you're gonna have no choice but to keep calm, be resourceful, and figure out a solution. After all, the show must go on. These sorts of unexpected hurdles aren't exclusive to theater, of course. Life is a constant barrage of unexpected, inconvenient, and downright distressing problems that can come at the worst possible moment. And the more practice you have handling them with grace and a can-do attitude, the better you're gonna feel, and the better things will turn out too. A theater class will help you prepare to think on your feet and roll with whatever comes out of the mouth of your scene partner, or the potential supervisor trying to stump you in a job interview. That's because, in addition to working with scripts, you'll probably spend a lot of time doing improv, where you and your fellow performers make up lines, characters, stories, and situations on the spot from spontaneous suggestions. Once you've gotten used to responding to really out there questions like, what's that cat doing on your head? Or what do we do with the body? It'll be a whole lot easier to come up with a perfect answer to what's your biggest strength as an employee. But theater doesn't just help strengthen your mental acuity, it can help put you in touch with your body too. For theater performers, your body is your instrument. So most theater classes will spend some time connecting you to your own personal flesh vessel. This might include breathwork, exercises focused on posture and movement, or body isolations, where you focus on moving or sending energy to one specific part of your body. Some classes might get even more specific, teaching you the basics of mime and physical clowning, or even the Alexander technique, a kind of physical therapy designed to help performers and athletes improve posture and coordination and relieve tension. That's a good thing, because unlike your cheapo IKEA futon, when it comes to your body, there's no heading back to the store a year or two down the road for a fancier, comfier model with a pull-out bed for overnight guests. And while many classes and jobs focus on broadening your mind and sharpening your wit, they don't always give your body a whole lot of love. Learning to be in touch with your physical self, eliminate that slouch, and focus on your breathing can help you feel better for years to come. And just as theater lets us connect with our insides, it also lets us connect with the external world. Looking carefully at plays gives you a window into literature, history, and culture. Theater is literature after all, and many people find it a lot easier to connect with challenging texts like King Lear or Oedipus Rex when they're performed aloud instead of read independently in a dead silent English classroom. Analyzing plays is often a huge part of a theater class. After all, you can't perform something if you don't understand it in the first place. But instead of focusing on metaphors and motifs, you probably spend more time thinking about character motivations, intentions, and breaking up scenes into beats, which are small moments of shifting or change within the larger story. It's a bit of a different approach than you'll get in English class, but focusing on a character's concrete actions and motivations can really help you understand what the writer was trying to get at. At the same time, many theater classes contain a component of theater history, where you'll learn about plays through the millennia. From ancient Greek tragödia to the medieval liturgical plays to masked performances of commedia dell'arte, these plays give you a window into history and provide context for a ton of the media you see today. And because pretty much all cultures have a history of theater and performance, it can be a great way to understand our diverse global world. While many theater classes tend to spend the most time on Western works, because of course they do, a class with a global focus will introduce you to all sorts of different kinds of theater and performance. Like Japanese kabuki theater, which is performed with elaborate costumes, singing, dancing, and mime. Or the Yoruba theater of Nigeria, which incorporates traditional drumming and folktales with mime and opera. These kinds of performances might look pretty different to what we're used to seeing in the US, and can be a great way to deepen your understanding of other cultures. And because many playwrights use their work to respond directly to the social, political, and economic context of their times, theater is a great way to get a fuller picture of just what was going on in a given place at a given time, in a way that a typical history textbook might not provide. Sorry, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. Like Norwegian playwright Henrik Ibsen's works, A Doll's House and Hedda Gabler explore the societal expectations of women in the late 1800s, while Anton Chekhov wrote about Russian provincial life and economic challenges at the turn of the 20th century in The Cherry Orchard, Uncle Vanya, and Three Sisters. More recently, Martin McDonagh used theatrical satire to explore politics and violence in 1990s Ireland in plays like The Lieutenant of Inishmore. And in the US, Chiara Allegria-Hudy's Elliot Trilogy is made up of 3 plays revolving around the experience of an Iraqi war veteran. And Lynn Nottage's 2015 play Sweat, which explores the US economy and the future of the working class. So even if you're not a cultural commentary girly, a lit bro, or a history junkie, theater can make this stuff a whole lot more hands-on and engaging. But the real reason everyone should take theater is the feeling of empathy created. We all know the saying, put yourself in someone else's shoes. And in theater, you'll be doing that literally. Seriously, they're called character shoes for a reason. By working to understand and literally embody someone else, you'll be stretching those empathy muscles and transforming your perspective. Even just attending theater has been connected with higher levels of empathy and pro-social behavior. There's just something that hits different about seeing stories told by real people on stage in front of other real people, all going on the same emotional roller coaster you are. And, not to get political here, but in a world as divided as ours, a little more empathy is needed in a big way. Not to say that theater is literally the answer to all our political, social, and economic issues, although I'm not saying it's not, but I think it's safe to say we could all use a little more kindness and understanding. In the end, you should consider taking a theater class because maybe you'll really like it. You might find that you love directing a group of actors, helping them refine and prepare for performance. Or maybe you'll discover that your super type A organizational skills make you a fantastic stage manager. Or perhaps your artistic eye means you'll love creating costumes, props, or sets. Or you'll find you have a secret passion for lighting or sound design. Many theater classes will give you the opportunity to dabble in all of these areas. Or maybe it'll be the sense of community that you jive with. By the end of the term, you'll have a whole new crew of people you've worked with, cried with, and played copious amounts of improv games with. Kind of like the cast of Friends, but less white, homophobic, and fatphobic, and with more show tunes. Either way, you definitely don't have to be a theater major or professional to keep the drama rolling. You can always sign up for more classes just for fun, get involved with your local community theater, or even just buy those tickets to productions in your area. So there are lots of reasons to take a theater class, even if you don't dream of Broadway and have absolutely zero intention of being the next Ian McKellen. The same lessons you pick up in a semester of theater can help you the rest of your life. Just make sure to keep the drama on stage. This episode was suggested and written by Paige Esterly, a study hall script editor. When she's not creating educational YouTube videos, Paige works as a playwright, producer, and director in New York's indie theater community. If you're currently in or thinking about going to college, check out our channel where you'll find more tips about navigating college applications and choosing a major. To find out how to earn college credit with Study Hall, go to gostudyhall.com or click on the link in the description. And if you want to help us out, give this video a like, tell us what class you think everyone should take, and smash that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you next time.